Hey everyone, it's Maya, and you are tuned into Rolling Out.
He keeps bringing me peace, purpose along my way. He keeps bringing me peace, purpose every day.
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Rolling Out. I'm Rashad Milligan. Today we are joined by one of the pioneers and one of the legends in this R&B game, in this music game. It is Black Music Month. We want to celebrate and give those legends those flowers while they can still smell them and have them and everything like that. Speaking of, we have one of the queens of R&B who's currently on the Queens of R&B tour itself. Maya, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing extremely well. Thanks for stopping by, rolling out. The first question that I have for you is obviously, like I said in the intro, you're on the Queens of R&B tour. Just what is that entire experience like, and what is it? How does it feel to be considered and labeled one of the queens of R&B?
Of course, it's an honor and a privilege to be doing what I love to do and surrounded by amazing women, amazing pioneers in this R&B game. One of my favorite genres is 90s R&B. So I'm very blessed, very grateful, and very excited to join this tour. It hasn't started yet, so I don't know what it's like just yet, but I am anticipating with lots of anxious feelings in a good way.
No, 100%, 100%. Now, when you said you're a huge fan of 90s R&B and that's kind of like your favorite, when you hear people say the 90s was the best decade, uh, okay, all right, you're already nodding your head. Do you think that's
Well,
like bias of like this is the time like stuff really hit for me in my personal life, or do you just think that's objectively just the ultimate truth?
generational. Well, first of all, I love 70s music. I grew up on 70s music. I'm a 70s baby, actually. And the vinyl, the cassettes, the 45s, all of that. My dad is a recording artist, so I was always around music and live music at that. But as a young woman developing into myself, my teenage years were influenced heavily by 90s R&B music. And then there was also something that happened that was very special culturally for us. The merge of hip hop and R&B together, which you see on the radio, on the airwaves, you hear in every, I would say, genre right now, all of the fusions happening with different places of the world, et cetera. So we got to witness what that looked like from fashion to this energy of excitement and newness because it had never been done before in the way that at least it was in that era. And everyone was working together and creating these different sounds and synergies. So it was a very special time. Now, something special about R&B music, first of all, soul, chord changes, it's real music, stems from gospel and the foundation of gospel roots. So you feel something very special in your gut. And I believe it's a part of what's missing today. Um, Musically, we don't hear enough of it. That's all. But we had it tenfold in the 90s with so many groups harmonizing and amazing solo artists and the support from labels, a different time in technology and music as well for the business. So it was just a special time to be alive and experience that, witness it, and then of course connect to the music because that's what your life was. You could wear your heart on your sleeve
Okay,
freely
and going off of that, like you said, like the
Mhm.
music, like you wear your heart on your sleeve freely. And
and
you
connect.
said we don't have enough of it today. So do you think the current state of music in general and kind of like R&B taking a backseat to hip hop and rap, do you think that has had an influence on the romantic and dating scene of this current generation?
I can't say that. I feel like every generation has saturation in one direction. And with every generation, excuse me, with every generation also comes rebellion. So some of us sound like our parents or our grandparents every single generation, and there comes a new type of music or a subgenre or a subculture. uh, People are creative and everything belongs. And I believe that there's a space for everyone. Coming from where I'm coming from musically and even in my era, of being able to freely, without punishment or judgment, wear your heart on your sleeve and be vulnerable and express those very uncomfortable feelings of falling in love or feeling deep feelings or, being very, very hurt. You were allowed to do that back in the day and not be called names for it, especially guys. So I don't see a lot of guys professing their love on their knees in a desert or in the rain. So there was a sense of vulnerability. And I think it's okay to tap into that space. Um, I don't hear enough of that. I don't see enough male groups. I don't see enough female groups. So, and I would love to, because with all of the fun, with all of the rebellion, with all of the boss music as well, we are still human beings with real feelings and real emotions. So what I'm saying is I wouldn't mind hearing some of that too, alongside everything that the culture is today that does belong as
Uh,
well.
no, 100%. It like reminds me of Anderson .Paak. He had a song, I think it was like 2019 with Andre 3000. It's called "Come Home," and the chorus is like, I'm begging you, please come home." And then he says, "No one even begs anymore." And it's just like I didn't even think about it until he said it in the song. I was like, no one does beg anymore. Like I think Anthony Hamilton might
Passion.
be like the
Oh,
last one to beg.
passion.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that
yeah.
passion.
Passion,
It
passion.
was nonchalant back then. We had Aaron Hall,
Uh,
you know, Odyssey. My goodness, mint condition. It was amazing. So
is there such thing as to stay on the theme and then we can move on? Is there such thing as 90s fine? I wanted to ask you about that.
I've never heard of the term. Is that a hashtag going
It's
around?
like a thing. How do you explain it? It was kind of like it's a term still used on Twitter now X.
Fine.
Kind of like a black subset of Twitter of just like they'll post pictures of like may say you like Nia Long, Holly Berry, and then like I'm trying to think of who else. But you can fill in the blank, whoever else you want to put as a fourth person. Maybe Tatiana Ali or something like that. And then it'll be like that 90s fine hit different. And then like it's just a thing. So I wanted to know if you believe in that or do you think there's like whatever.
Their own. I'm cool with all the trends and the things people make on social media. Nothing really bothers me. Do I believe in it? I don't really follow too many things that I believe in, except for what I do believe in. So I can say about the 90s, everything was just more simple, simplified, more natural, but makeup is art as well as hair. And I'm also an artist that loves to creatively express myself. So, like I said, with what's going on today with fashion and beauty, etc., there's a place for that. It belongs as well. So, I think maybe the general consensus of the folks that are following that hashtag appreciate maybe what they don't see enough of, which is probably the more subdued or the more natural look, I guess. But I love turning it up and beating my face too.
Nah, 100%, 100%. Going on to this tour now, like when you tour, what are some of your like general favorite cities? And like why? Like why is I like Charlotte because they have this. I like, what are some of your favorite cities on tour?
Favorite cities on tour. I love Arizona. I just love the landscape, the cacti. I feel like I'm on a different planet or the moon at night when you see all the rocks and the moon rise, or even sometimes the moon set against these mountains that are just rocks. It's so beautiful. We don't hit Sedona this time, but Arizona has always been one of my favorite cities that I said I would actually live one day. Of course, I love Florida, any kind of peak of tropical water or even a step in the sand. Love Florida, the hometown, of course. Washington, D.C. is always special, or even, Baltimore close by is very special. Nothing like New York, New York. And then, of course, I have a lot of friends, family, associates in Cali, but I am always surprised in new territories as well. So I think any place that I haven't been ends up becoming highly anticipated for me because I haven't been there or have experienced anything there. So I look forward to those moments too, somewhere in the Midwest, you know.
No, facts, facts. And shout out to, like you said, like you started off with the warmest places like in America, of the Arizonas to Floridas, like the warm weather, being from the DMV, like how do you feel about the cold?
Well, being from the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia, not Department of Motor Vehicles, folks. We get all 4 seasons, so I have an appreciation for all 4. Now, my favorite is the spring because it is unlike anything I've ever seen before in person. And we get the cherry blossoms, the white trees, the pink trees, the whole National Mall is covered in such beauty during the springtime, and you get nature's confetti when they fall. I love where I'm from for those reasons, and the seasons bring my childhood memories back. But it's such a beautiful place in Maryland. Lots of greenery. Fall, you get all of these different colored trees. And then in winter, you get reindeer out there with the antlers on white snow as well. So summertime, it can get humid and super hot with all the car shows and go-go fests and amazing things happening in the park, festivals. It's a very, very rich entertainment and arts cultural place in Washington, D.C., aka Chocolate City. So I love my hometown.
Maya, like you said earlier, you said nothing really bothers you. Then this entire interview, you just seem so calm, like you're glowing. I want to know what your morning routine is.
Well, I finally got some sleep last night after days of, well, hopefully that paid off. I had a show last night in New Hampshire, and man, I was beat. But I think it comes with age. Ease comes with age and new levels of life unlocked. I'm just at a very good place in my life. Of course, life can be stressful, but it's how we deal with everything, navigate, maneuver, and process mentally, emotionally. And what was your second question?
What's your morning routine?
Morning routine. Well, it varies depending on what time I'm waking up and what time I'm going to bed. Sometimes I'm coming out of the studio at 9 a.m. and it's night time. So sometimes we're saying good morning when we get out because that's just what it is. Sometimes there's no sleep, like 72 hours straight on the road because that's what it entails. On a good day, on a preferred day, because every day is good, it can vary. If I'm at home, of course, we have animals. So the first thing is them before you get to yourself. And I do wake up with gratitude just for life and the breath in my body. We never know when tomorrow is the last day for any of us, or when the next moment is the last for any of us. So I don't take it lightly. Give thanks for life. Hydrate. Go put my bare feet in some grass in my backyard, front yard, side yard, because it just helps you get back in touch to your true nature by being in nature and submerged. I do read some passages and Psalms, etc., from a daily devotional just to set or calibrate my mind for the day ahead and meditate on it to really, really absorb what it means versus just reading the page. And it readjusts me and I think clarifies my purpose and mission, not just in life, but how we're going to start this day and how we're going to navigate through it and go about it without just self in mind.
No, 100%. We only have a couple minutes left, so these are the last few questions. Uh, you said earlier, the calmness, the stillness comes with maturity and age. For a younger woman, say college age, maybe even just 20s in general, early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s. What is the advice that you would give to her if she feels like currently her life is out of control? She's spinning everywhere and she's just like, ah. What is your advice to her?
My advice to young women, young men, that maybe living in this particular society or any society, for example, just understand that we are a product of our environment. We have grown up in a world that is not natural. So, of course, it is natural to feel unnatural and unstable. And the chaos is real when we step outside. However, there is a time in your life that you must decide, am I doing this because I want to fit in within the society that has raised me? Or am I going to make my own rules, use it versus it using me, and get back in touch to you, who you really are, why you're doing the things you're doing, refining, defining your mission so that that can be your compass and that you can create the roadmap for your life and understand why, the why, always, and let that lead you. But also, it's very important to start every day and remind yourself with the positive self talk, but understand that you don't have to be anything outside of just you. We are often asked when we are young, what do you want to be? Well, I already am. You are already enough. So that's very, very important. Tribes believe in that, practice those beliefs because everything we've learned are beliefs of something man made. So spirituality is very key at this stage in your life because you're listening to the voices of the world, the voices of our parents, sometimes the voices of our teachers that are not necessarily ours. So it's very important to find out what your voice is and stay in touch with it and let that lead you. So that's what I would say.
Maya, man, so many gems. I appreciate it so much. And then I want to ask you about Black men in 2024. How can Black men better support Black women in 2024?
Well, I think Black men, Black women, everyone starts with self. There is a lot of trauma culturally that we have experienced as people, and there are a lot of things that have been undealt with, unpacked. And I think the world can always be a better place vibrationally if we start with self, pouring into self, also self analyzation. Sometimes we do need help from outside sources. Um, but what we have experienced as a people ancestrally has gone untreated. There's a lot of PTSD there. And of course, reparations have still not been paid. But I think a book called African Holistic Health is one of the gems that I would like to drop here because it speaks about all aspects of, once again, the world that we live in, how we view ourselves, some of the indoctrination that we have experienced, and some of the pitfalls that we've experienced by programming and thinking that we are the inferior. And it gets into the science of the opposition and why biologically and scientifically. And I think it's very important to tap into the truth. And once you know your truth, you can begin to respect your sister, respect your brother, and realize that you are the most amazing, the most deserving, the most magical. And I think without knowing that, being that education is backward and somewhat of a lie, very much so, there has to be a lot of unraveling and deprogramming to get to the self-love on a very, very high level. So reading books, getting involved in chats and getting involved in groups so that we can support each other and do it in a way that the acknowledgement of needing each other versus shunning each other out or disrespecting in any kind of way um, is at the focal point because we do need each other, whether it's unity in the community or man and woman, brother and brother, sister and sister, brother and sister. It's so important for functionality, but also progression and then power financially, economically, spiritually. And I think that is yet to happen on a massive level and a consistent level because there's a deficit that we start at because of what has been done historically. in this country, but many others. So I think that's where it starts with self, but we can help each other get there too.
Maya, we appreciate the time so much. Thank you for being a sister with superpower. Thank you for all your contributions to the culture. And thank you for this conversation, man. Like I say, hey, man, I'm probably going to play this back like every morning as my morning routine. I'm getting ready to remember the affirmations, all of those things. So I appreciate you for feeding my soul and the audiences as well. What do you have coming up? How can people keep up with you? And is there anything else that you like to leave?
Oh, what do I have coming up? Well, the Queens of R&B tour is happening. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Live Nation, presented by Monami Entertainment. SWV, Escape by the headliners, supported by myself, 702 Total. MC Light, surprise, surprise. We'll be joining some dates as well. So check Live Nation, Queens of R&B tour. Follow them on social media and get ready for some good music and to be transported to a special time in music and your life. You can follow me on social media at Maya Planet 9. That's the number 9. And mayamaya.com/events for all tour dates, etc.
Maya in the building. Appreciate the time so much. Thank you for stopping by Rolling Out. I'm Rashad Milligan. And as always, please take care of yourselves.
He keeps bringing me